and it's produced by
Ikaw
Fylum.
di ignition na laptop.
Am I in focus? You sure? Yo, welcome to Fylum. I'm your host Monkey, joined as always by Birdo. And today I wanted to talk about Stanley Kubrick, the moon, and an age-old conspiracy theory.
Muhammad Ali, the white trunks.
So it's the 1960s. America's in turmoil, those damn minorities are demanding equal rights again, and JFK hasn't gotten clapped yet. You decide to take your family out to one of those move-in pictures to have a nice night, but instead you all have your minds melted by 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's the new film by a young man from the Bronx, Stanley Kubrick. Now, your boy Stanley wasn't just your average New Yorker. He had an IQ of 200. That's a lot, apparently. And he was known to be one of the most meticulous filmmakers in history. So the theory goes, JFK, on top of everything else, is worried about the Prime Minister of Russia. No, not him. Further back. More. Okay, this guy. Yeah, it's always been on site for Russia and the United States, but back then, they were both trying to launch themselves into outer space. America was still shook after the Cuban Missile Crisis, pretty understandably, and could definitely use a win. Something like walking on the moon. So he called in Kubrick, director of that mind-melting space movie. Because of Kubrick's obsessive attention to detail in film, he nailed depicting space on screen, specifically the weightlessness and lighting. He famously worked with fucking NASA to make this shit look real. You see, Stanley Kubrick wasn't just a filmmaker, he was a special effects mastermind. That's why even movies from today can't really stand up to 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Whoa. You saying the moon landings was fake?
Can you not interrupt? I'm just trying to make my show, man. Look at this. Look at the camera. Look at all the work I'm putting into this.
You're disrespecting America.
Let me finish. I'm just reporting.
You're disrespecting America.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Theorist Bart Sibrel actually tried to get in surviving astronaut Buzz Aldrin's face about the moon conspiracy. And well...
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon? Like why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon?
It doesn't, sir, I don't have nothing to do with...
You're a coward and a liar and a thief and a thief and a thief.
Ha ha ha. Serves him right.
Yeah, probably. So then why do so many people like me keep bringing up this dumbass theory? Well, I'm glad you asked.
I didn't ask. I definitely did not ask.
Kubrick would go on to make a little film called The Shining.
My word. Turner Classic Movies and Fathom Events present The Shining.
And there's a couple of shots that raise some questions. In this scene, we see Danny playing in the hotel. Or do we? Because right here, boom, Illuminati confirmed. That's a rocket taking off. And if you look at this angle, you can see the carpet has a polygon pattern, just like the launch pads for the Apollo mission. In The Shining, Jack is a clear allegory for Stanley Kubrick himself. Now, this is pretty common for directors to do. He's a writer. He's the hardworking, independent artist. He meets his match, though, in The Hotel Manager. Now, just look at this fucking guy. He's got eagles all over his office room, which was a symbol for the Apollo flights. And more importantly, he's dressed in red, white, and blue, which can very easily be a metaphor for the United States government, the establishment, the man, Illuminati.
I'm pretty sure I can see footprints on the moon from here, man.
The Shining is an adaptation of Stephen King's novel, and Stephen King hates Stanley Kubrick's film. None of this lunar symbolism is in the book. The hotel room in the book is 217. But in the movie, Kubrick changed it to 237. The moon is approximately 237,000 miles away from the Earth. The scene that I think is most important to analyze is the scene when Jack finally snaps. The lines of dialogue he yells at his wife. Have you ever thought about my responsibilities? Have you ever had a single moment's thought about my responsibilities? Have you ever for a single solitary moment thought about my responsibilities to my employers? Does it matter to you at all that the owners have placed their entire confidence and trust in me? And
But I have signed a letter of agreement, a contract, in which I have accepted that responsibility. Has it ever occurred to you what would happen to my future if I were to fail to live up to my responsibilities?
now, Kubrick was no doubt obsessive and would often have very grueling shoots that would require a lot from the performers. That being said, this last scene is different. It's particularly brutal.
No desperate. Oh, come on. What do you mean roll video? We're fucking killing ourselves out here, and you're going to be ready.
I am too. I'm standing
Should we
right
play
by
mood
the
music?
door.
Shelley Duvall was the actress in the film, and Kubrick shot that scene specifically 127 times. He wanted the pain and the desperation and fear to be real. She presented him with clumps of her hair that had fallen out from the stress of filming this movie.
If it hadn't been for that, volley of ideas and sometimes butting of heads together, it wouldn't have come out as good as it did.
So what, he yelled? You yell at me all the time.
That's because you keep interrupting me, you feathered fuck.
My feathers are glorious.
I know.
At least I don't believe in a stupid-ass conspiracy theory.
That's all it is, dude. A theory, okay? It's not real, guys. I just wanted to point out some cool things in The Shining.
What are you waiting for? Take him out, Wellington.
I don't think we have to. It seems like he's just another sheep.
It's up to you.
You're right. It is up to me.
It's Bertle.